BJ Counsel. I view the world through the lens of having been followed by a white clerk as a child while shopping in a five and dime. I'm a retired police executive and own UN50, which gives guidance on surviving interactions with police.
I'm Harmony Chavis, and I view the world through the lens of one of the most misunderstood and diverse generations in our nation's history. I'm a social worker and a believer of radical kindness and love as modalities of healing.
My name is Andrew Counsel. I view the world through the lens of a generational camera phone. I wake up as a black male and go to bed as a black male. I am surviving this never-ending court case we commonly call life in the best way I know how.
All right, welcome back, folks, to UN50. Really appreciate it. I hope everybody's doing well. And for you, those of you that are joining us for the first time, my name is BJ Counsel, and the UN50 is a business or organization that goes around teaching primarily Black and brown bodies to safely interact with law enforcement. We have a lot of discussions, not just about law enforcement. We have discussions that deal with mental health, that deal with reentry, any kind of conversation, just because I feel like we keep an eye on the popo, but this is not, it's bigger than that. And so we talk about a variety of things that could possibly help reduce the deaths of Black and brown bodies, and also talk about other discussions. So for those of you that don't know, my name is BJ Counsel. We are I am in Durham, North Carolina. Bull City is where UN50 rests, and our guest is actually from Memphis, Tennessee, and she is in Memphis, Tennessee. And so we have Ms. Margaret Cowan, who is the founder of I Am My Sister's Keeper. And a relative of mine is on her board and introduced me to her through doing some fundraising for an event, and that's how I met her. And I was like, oh yeah. So this organization is about single mothers.
Correct.
And so she started this in 2018. So join me in welcoming Margaret Cowan to UN50. How are you, ma'am?
I am good. I am doing well. Today has been a good day, a good first day of November.
A good first day of November, right? I know, November, right? We're getting ready to get into the holidays.
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, when you and I first talked, and the work that I do, when you and I started talking, and I thought about single mothers, especially single Black and brown mothers in this climate, about law enforcement was like, I need to talk to her, based on what you're doing. But first of all, before we even kind of get into that minutia, I really want you to kind of talk about your organization that you founded in 2018, and give us an idea of what you do, why you do what you do, why you founded this, and the work that you're doing in Memphis, Tennessee.
Cool. And you can stop me if I get too long, but this is like my child, so I can talk about it. Thank you for having me, first of all. And also thank you for donating to our mental health retreat. It was amazing. And because of people like you, we were able to pull this off. I think we raised the money we needed in like 20 days.
Oh, wow.
Days or something like that. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. People like you made it possible. So I started I Am My Sister's Keeper in 2018 because I am a single mom. I've been a single mom since I was 19. My oldest child is 22 now. And I've been blessed with an amazing village, right? My mama, aka my baby daddy, she has always held me down, and I have just always been blessed to have really good, supportive people around me, right? But when I moved to Memphis, I started back to college, and like moms were bringing their kids to school and like sitting them outside on a tablet and just keeping them occupied because they have to come to class. And I was like, this is a thing. Like my kids are safely at my mom's house, right? But everybody doesn't have. Everybody deserves to have a village and a community of people who understand them, who are there for them. And so I kind of had this idea, but I was kind of like, my situation improved and it changed. So you kind of push it to the back burner, but it kept coming up. It kept coming up. And then finally my business, the job I was working, went out of business without warning.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, oh yeah, you got to do this now. Right.
Right,
So
right. The
that's what
universe said now, right.
yes, now. And so my best friend had got a bonus from work, and she was like, "You said it cost this much to do your charter, all the paperwork you have to file." And she gave me the money to do it.
Wow.
And so
Wow. Wow.
that's what happened. But it's really just out of knowing what a single parent goes through, even with a great support system, right? It's still hard. Parenting is hard. Doing it by yourself is even harder. So just from that aspect, and then the things I observed in the world around me was like, we need a community, we need a village for single moms. There's a lot of us, not just
Right.
in Memphis, like all over, right? And
Yeah.
so I'm in Memphis, and so this is where I can do my part. So we do Zoom sessions every other Wednesday. It's like a very informal check-in. Hey sis, how's your week going? You want to talk? You need to cry? You need me to make you laugh? Whatever. Every Friday we have what we call learning sessions. And those are more formal and more intentional, right? Where we discuss things like mental health or parenting strategies or how to take care of myself. Because a lot of times moms don't do that, right? But if we're not good, our kids aren't good, our coworkers aren't good, it just those ripples make waves. So we want to have the correct kind of ripples making the waves. And then once a month we do an outing. We'll go paint and sip. This picture right here, I did that at our paint and sip.
I love it.
We'll have a game night at my house. We've been to a play, a concert, and we provide childcare for the moms when we do these outings. And then once every quarter, we do a community event where some of our moms who make things and they can come and sell them. We have other vendors that come. So it's just a thing about supporting single moms and then showing that support to the community to draw other moms and other donors and just other people to have more awareness about what it is that we're doing here in Memphis.
Wow.
I said a lot of words just then.
No, I mean, I think it's actually cool. It's just interesting. I was with some women the other day who are, one's a single mother. She's got few kids. And then the bottom line is after I got through, we were doing something for my business. And it dawned on me when we got through, because they were talking, they were like, man, we through talking, right? And it dawned on me that they just exactly what you just said. They needed a space just to exhale.
Yeah, for sure.
With everything that's going on. One of them is used to be a substance abuse. She readily says she used to be a crackhead. The other one is, has some kids and stuff. But what I got, and we talked, bottom line is we're going to get together again. Because I was like, clearly these individuals need a space to just exhale.
Yeah.
And you were saying exactly that. And it's like, for those of us who have been, privileged, because, when you hear, you always hear, well, they put it, well, Black folks, I'm privileged. You know what I'm saying? I don't have kids, I'm privileged. And so I don't know the struggle. I can only be empathetic to that. And, but yeah, I hear that. That is exactly what folks, and people forget that. Y'all need a moment. Y'all need a moment. Yeah, because I can't
even just one, right?
Right. At least you giving them a moment every month. You're giving them a moment every month. So how many people or how many participants do you have?
So right now we have about 15, and it's kind of cool because everybody doesn't do well in crowds or large spaces, right? So if we have 30, 45 moms, they might not, people who need to talk may not talk because it's too many people or whatever.
Right.
And we have more of an intimate setting because we communicate pretty regularly. We have a group chat that we have a lot of touch points throughout the course of a week or even a month. And finding people who really want to have that level of commitment is a thing too, right? So people may need the services, but they want the more tangible things like, can I come to the pantry? Can you help me with this bill or whatever? And that's not the community we're creating here. Yes, those are things that we have and those are things that we offer, but like you just said, support and having that space to exhale is the most important thing. All that other stuff is, I won't even say most important. I feel like it should be though, because your mental health should be the most important thing. But a lot of people don't want to make the investment in becoming a part of something to be able to obtain something else. So it's kind of staying around this number, and I'm cool with it because then that gives me a chance to get to know them personally, gives them each of them a chance to get to know other moms. Personally, they schedule play dates, they do different stuff. But to answer your question, we have about 15 moms right now.
Say that again. I think you said something earlier. Just in that what you were talking about, that some people want something tangible, right? That
Yeah.
they can, and that's not exactly what you're offering. You're offering more of a, this is just to give you a break. This is that what I'm hearing? I mean,
so we do offer tangible things, right?
Right.
We have a pantry where we have food, clothes, diapers, wipes, pull up, cleaning supplies. So we have things you can get, right? But we don't want those moms who are just coming for the things that they can get and take home, right?
Gotcha.
Our main concern, our reason for being in support, right? And then when you're a better person, you're a better mom, right? And you raise, I hate to use the word better, but that's what's coming to my mind at the moment.
Right.
You raise better kids. And when I say better, I mean more whole, more healthy, more self-aware, more sound. So if I'm better as a mom, my kids are better, right? Which means when they go to school, they're better. They impact their classmates. I impact my coworkers. And then all of these small things, well, these things that seem small, they make for better communities. And I think that's, like you said, that's kind of where we intersect, because it's not just the fault of law enforcement all the time. And it's not just a black and white issue, and not meaning necessarily color either. You know what I mean? So
Right.
a lot of the situations that we have and encounter, they start with us. They start with my bias, my bad day, my poor mental health. You know what I mean? And so some of the moms that we've encountered are not interested in that side of the investment. And those are not our moms. I had to be okay with that, because I got a cape. I want to help everybody, right? But if you don't want the help that we're giving, then you're not our mom.
Right. So since you kind of started down that path, and so kind of tell me about, because like you said, when I saw what you do, I was starting to think about everything that a single mother has to go through, and then she has to be worried about her children who may interact with law enforcement. I kind of want to talk about, is that part of your discussion? What, how do you help them with that? That discussion. I mean, have you guys had that discussion in this climate right now?
We have talked about it. I won't say we've talked about it extensively. It's come up more lately because one of our newer moms has 6 sons. 6 sons that she's choosing to homeschool because she's afraid to send them to school.
Wow.
So she moved here from Texas. So part of it was because of the school shootings and all of that stuff. But then it's also, and this is something she shares with me, because she's afraid that if something happens at school or when they're around, because they're Black boys, they'll be targeted. Wow. So these are very real fears. These are very real things that people are facing. I have all daughters. So not to say that I'm never concerned about the safety and well-being of my daughters, but it has been, it has a different face when it's a Black man. So I understand what she's saying. But now that's opened the dialogue up more to it, because a lot of our kids, they were girls or they were little boys, daycare age or whatever. And so it wasn't a thing that it wasn't really top of mind. But she's got middle school and little boys. So it's on her mind all the time.
So, so what are some of the, I don't know, I just really am trying to figure out the conversation for, what do you think could benefit her? I mean, I know, what I do, but we'll get, I'm just trying to get folks to understand how to safely interact with the popo and get to the house. And one of the conversations I actually have in the beginning of it, I'm not here for you to like the police. You can come in not liking a popo. You can go home not liking a popo. I just need you to go home.
Right.
I mean, that's it. I mean, I ain't really here whether or not you like them or not. I just need you to understand it's about understanding how to navigate that interaction, and just making sure that the mothers understand that as well when we have these conversations, that it's not about you liking them. It is about trying to get your kids to do that. And I hope that that's something that folks would be interested in knowing about. I mean, I'm not saying I need to do anything for you. I'm just saying that, single mothers like, no, I don't want you to talk about my kids,
But you're gonna talk to us, so you don't have to. You're gonna come talk to us.
Yeah, I'm not, I ain't trying to plug anything for the business or anything,
it's
but I'm just
okay.
saying, yeah.
It's okay.
I just kind of, that's like I said in the beginning, that's why I wanted to talk to you, because I'm trying to figure out that has got to be stressful. That's just like an added stress.
Yeah, for sure.
Everything else a single mother has to deal with.
Yeah. But I think it's like what you said. First, having the conversation. Okay, here's the thing. We don't all like our coworkers. I mean, I do because it's like my daughter, but we don't all like our coworkers, right? But we have to go to work every day and do our job. We, like you said, we don't have to like the police, but they're people just like us and they deserve respect, period. I have a brother who is a police officer in Chicago.
Wow.
Of all places to be a police.
Right. Wow. Yeah. That's
and
real right there.
Had some heated conversations because even though he's a Black man, he's also a cop.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And I still feel the way I feel about some things, but I love my brother. And I also have had good encounters with the police too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we have to be open to the dialogue and we have to take accountability for not saying that I can change what happens in every interaction I have with the police, right? But I also have to acknowledge my own bias and that sometimes I come into the situation already with something on my chest that may not even be for these people, right? And so then I don't think any encounter should end in a life loss. Like that's just what I think and I feel. I won't say any encounter because sometimes I'd be like, they didn't shoot him. But anyway, that's my own personal feelings. But I think sometimes we don't take enough accountability for the part we have to play in our interactions. Yeah. And that's not just police, that's with any other people, right? Yeah.
I think you and I had that discussion when we first met on the telephone. It was just like we as Black folks, we got to take some accountability is what it is that we're doing. I was talking to somebody was just saying, we talking about we don't want to be pegged as an angry Black woman or angry Black male, but the police, what we don't want to be called, labeled, because that's the term or that's the narrative of white supremacy. They're just angry Black people. But then when you pull up, a police officer pulls up to your car and walks up to your car, who do they see? They see an angry Black woman and an angry Black man. So you playing into that narrative, and I'm trying to get folks to be like, like you said, it's just a job, boo. I got bills and mortgage, and child support too. So I'm just trying to catch a check. So I'm just doing my job. But you angry at me because you ran, 60 and a 25, and you mad at me.
That's what I'm about to say. Like I was speeding, my pad expired. Like I'm gonna get pulled over for that.
Right, you're gonna get pulled over that, but you mad at me because I'm just doing. And so that conversation for us to own some of the stuff a little bit,
Well, my oldest daughter and I went to Kentucky a couple months ago, whatever, and I was asleep, good sleep. I had the rain sounds going in my ear, and I probably was asleep because sis was coasting down. I wake up, she's tapping my leg. Mom, I think I'm getting pulled over.
Oh,
you know you're getting pulled over. These blue and white lights, blue,
right?
Like you're getting pulled over. Long story short, sis was going 95. Flying. So he comes to my side, of course, because he doesn't want to get hit by a car. And he could tell, he was like, "You were asleep, huh?" A young white guy. And I was like, knocked out. He was like, "Yeah, because you didn't know she was going 95." And I'm like, "What?" He said yes. And he was very kind, very nice. And he basically told her, like, you got to get a ticket because you were going too fast.
Right.
I can't let you off the hook. Like you were going, he said, because I'm just concerned if anything happened to this car, there was nothing you could have done because you're going too fast.
Right.
But I could have assumed because he was a white man and I told you where we went. So,
Kentucky.
Right. But he was very pleasant. And he was basically like, I'm giving you this ticket because you got to learn. And it was fine. But my attitude was different. And so was his. And so it was a peaceful experience for me because I ain't pay that ticket. Like, but she learned that lesson. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
But if I had the demeanor of this white man is pulling me over, not to say that it could have or should have gone left, but I'm responsible too. We were courteous and we were kind to him and he was to us. And so She got the ticket she deserved, and we made it home.
Right. There you go. You just said that. That's the mantra. You got to the house. You got to the house. Yeah, 95. Woo. Yeah, you can lose. Yeah. Well,
That's why I was knocked out, girl. I was flying low.
Oh my Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I think, I just kind of want you to talk to us about some of the things that you see in the work that you've done. How have some of the members or participants in your organization, how have they felt about the work that you're doing?
I think for the most part, it's received well. We have some moms who have been with us since our inception, so that's a good
Wow.
sign. So
Yeah.
they've been there since the beginning. But it's kind of like what I was mentioning earlier. Some people just aren't ready to do the work. There have been moms that have come and they have left, either because they chose to or because I was like, yeah, maybe another time. People are hard.
Yeah.
People are hard, especially when you want to help them. It's because they want help to look away, you want help to look away, or they want growth to look away and you want growth to look away. And coming to an agreement on this is still a business, and this is still, we have to have rules and regulations. I hate rules. I literally hate guidelines. Let's say guidelines.
Right.
Because there's a lot we're offering you, but we need you to do some stuff in turn too.
So what is kind of explain that a little bit when you, because I appreciate that, because you're absolutely, because I'm working with an organization and called Justice Movement, and that's kind of what we're saying. Are you ready to do the work?
Are you ready?
So, what is that for you? What is it? What are your expectations when you say they're not ready to do the work? For us, is like, you got to come in on time, or, because we're going to be working with individuals who are justice served and probably haven't had what you and I would consider going to work on time, following rules and regs, because that's just a whole different ballgame for some of them, not all of them. And if they're not ready, then we can't exactly send you to a job, because there's going to be this expectation and you're going to have to meet it. So what is it that what are some of your expectations of your participants?
It's basically like you said, show up, and don't just show up in body, show up in mind. Like, you have to be mentally present as well as physically present. On Friday nights, so I mentioned this to you when we spoke on the phone, we have a presenter for 1 month. So somebody gives us, okay, because they don't ask for money, we don't have any to give them, but they give us their time for 4 Friday nights. And these are people who are normally paid for what they do. Mental health professionals, parenting coaches, life coaches, ministers, whomever. They come and give us our time for free. I'm going to keep saying that because it's important. And you don't want to get on Zoom, you don't even have to leave your house, right? Like, you don't, because we really started having a lot of programming during COVID because people needed it. Like, especially like when you were on lockdown, you couldn't go outside, you couldn't do all that. So we beefed up our program during COVID. So if you can't show up for this, why you want some diapers? I mean, like, let's keep one. And again, this is something you can do from your own home. I don't really require that you turn on the camera, but I do stress it, because again, these people are giving us their time and their talents for free. And nobody wants to be looking at blank squares. Like, come on, we don't really want to do that. So it's that, and it's when we have our events, show up. It's really just you showing up and being present in the space. It sounds simple, right? It's not always. And I know everybody can't make it to everything, but you saying I got a date on Friday at 7, that's problematic for me. And I'll tell you why. Because we do this every single Friday at 7. You can't go at 8. You can go Thursday. And again, it's not because we don't want you to be a single mom forever, unless that's what you choose. But so we're not saying don't go on dates, but like, can you not navigate better? I just feel I need people to make it a priority. And I sometimes feel like that's not what happens. And so that's a problem for me. And not just because I take it personally, because I don't. It's because it tells me a lot about who you are. And people get that. People don't understand that. Like you said, if you can't show up to these groups on time, why would I send you to a job? It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. And so why would I keep pouring into you my time, their time, our resources? We help moms move up to $1,500. You get access
Wow.
to a savings match up to $1,000. These are things after 90 days. That's what I
Wow.
told my mom. I said, they don't even want to do the long con and stay for 90 days.
Wow.
Because
Yeah.
in my mind, even if you're in it for just that, something is going to sink in within that 3 months. You know what I mean? Like, even if that's what your intention is, something is going to sink in within those 3 months.
Within those 3 months. Wow. Wow. So they go for a period of time and you give them some financial support?
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the women you said have been with you since 2018.
Some of them, yeah.
Are they like part of your organization, or they're just continuing to come to be participants?
So some of them are now big sisters, what we call them.
Okay.
Like, so instead of everyone needing to talk to me or get in touch with me, they can get in touch with them.
Oh wow.
Like, they're assigned to these moms, and so you need to call her first, because
Right.
mental health is important too. And
Right.
I love
Right.
y'all get on my nerves sometimes. Y'all running me low sometimes. I need some help. So
Yeah,
we have
you on empty. Yeah.
yeah. And I still have 3 daughters and a mom and a grandma around the corner. Like,
Right.
so I'm in school. Like, I got stuff. I need a little help.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw you. Yeah. Congratulations. You're about to graduate in December.
Yay. Yes, I am.
Oh, congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank
That's
you.
awesome. What are you going to do with that? What is well, first of all, what is the degree? And then what are you going to do with that?
So it's sociology and nonprofit management.
Okay.
I don't plan to work I couldn't fathom.
Yeah.
But I do think I'm going to do some nonprofit consulting, like for startups or whatever. There's a friend of mine in Alabama. I helped her start her nonprofit. And it was just like, she's my friend now. Somebody introduced us, and I just kind of helped walk her through the process. And now she has her nonprofit going.
Wow.
And so I'm like, I can monetize that, but I want to monetize in a way that people can afford to have it. Because sometimes these master classes, for one, they don't be mastering like they claim. And they cost too much money. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
My hat's off to you, man, because I that was one thing I had to struggle with when I started my business, because a lot of people make the assumption that I am a nonprofit.
Right.
And I had to pray on that thing, because I did, because I mean, it's more than the notion to be a nonprofit. I mean, it's a lot of crossing T's and dotting I's to be a nonprofit. And I ain't got that kind of
pleading.
No, I ain't got that kind of bandwidth. So I was like, no, I'm just gonna have to go this route. I may not make no money, but I ain't got to worry about Uncle Sam. I ain't got to worry about all them T's and I's and stuff. So I said no, but I appreciate you saying social. I went to North Carolina Central for a few years, and I started out as a sociology major.
Okay.
I didn't graduate because I was, first time away from the house in the country, and then also dealing with my sexual identity. So I was having those struggles. So I became the popo. And ended up, I became a police officer because I needed a job. But when I got in, and I was like, oh, I am a social worker.
Right. Yeah.
I'm straight up as soon as it happens. I mean, I'm not calling a social worker. I'm right here on the scene, right when it happened, fresh, right out the box. And so it was like the universe is like, okay, you can go do social work, but you're gonna do it through the lens of a law enforcement officer. Because I get to see stuff right on the ground and stuff. And that's the thing that what I saw was exactly the work that you're doing. Single mothers.
Yeah.
Struggling. I'm stepping up in houses that, she's struggling to do what she got to do. She's got multiple children, a lot of times dad's in prison, or, all that kind of stuff. And just and what we see is, what is it that, what is it that who needs to be helped? What is it? So how can we help her do that and wanting to do, what I'm saying? Wanting to do the best for her family, but everything is against her. And
oh my goodness.
Everything is against her. And you get the mother who has, like, for instance, your mother that has the 6 sons, and then you hear these stories, and they're not stories, they're just realities. Like, I lost that one. I mean, a mother says, I gotta let that one go because I got 2 more. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, that was already in the system. I'm just,
Yeah.
I got two more. I'm gonna try to, and it's like, people don't realize that unfortunately, that's a reality for a lot
Yeah.
of people.
Yeah.
You know, that's a reality. I mean, do you see that? You know, when mothers are just going, I got multiple kids and they're going, I lost one in the system, but I got to try to save these last two.
Yeah. I haven't seen it in our organization per se,
Right.
but I had a time in my 20s.
Right.
Because I was raised in a religious home, and I went to homeschool, and my mom's a very straight-laced woman. She's one of my favorite people. But when I got older, I was like, nah, I'm not doing none of that. I want to be where the people are. They have gold teeth and pagers. What is going on here?
Gold teeth and face. I want some of that.
Why is the music so loud? I love it. So, but
That's
like,
funny.
you know, guys I dated or friends of mine, their brothers were killed, or you know, and we see it every day now. Like, somebody's dying, even if it's not because of police, it's from their own violence, the stuff that they're doing in their communities and so I met a really wonderful lady from Nashville at a Juneteenth event I was at, and she lost her son to gun violence a couple years ago now. And it's not, you know, it's not a thing that it's easy to get over. No parent wants to bury their child,
I can't imagine.
no matter the circumstances.
Yeah.
So like I said, we haven't experienced it in our group, but I've seen it, and I've been around it, and I've seen what it does. Yeah, it's awful. It's an awful thing to behold.
Yeah. So what motivates you? I mean, what keeps you moving?
Some days I don't know. No. Oh no. Really, just because it's my purpose. Like, I finally know what my purpose is. BJ, I couldn't fathom doing something else. Even though it's taxing, even though it's sometimes frustrating, even though it's not as financially rewarding as I would like for it to be.
I know.
I couldn't fathom doing another thing. Have you ever just done or been in a place you like, this just feels right? It just feels right. Even on the worst days, it still feels good to my soul. And then you know, I believe in a higher being. I don't know what kind of audience we
oh no, you good. You good.
I was talking to a friend of mine who is a pastor. And, well, your cousin.
Nathaniel.
Yes. I was talking to him today about how just things that are seemingly small that just remind you that you're on the right track, that your steps are ordered. That's what keeps me going. Because sometimes I'm in the kitchen chopping vegetables. I'm like, I don't think you meant to pick me. Was I standing next to somebody who was like, this, and I was in the way? Like, I don't want to be in their business. But then there's those days when it's just like everything works out, or somebody that you don't even know sends you a donation, and you're like, oh, okay. A venue says you can come do this here for free. Like, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that is what keeps, and it's always on time. It's always on time. So that's what keeps me going. And I really just care about people. I really genuinely have a love for people, even though we're crazy and lost at times. I just really, really care about people.
Yeah, I think no, I feel you, because like I said, I talk about the universe and the set, because I never wanted to be a police. I mean, being a police officer wasn't anything that was like, I want to be I wanted to be a veterinarian because I love dogs and animals, right? But when I found out how long you got to go to school for that and how much math was involved, I was like, nope, can't do that. I'll just rub on them and and just rescue them. Yeah. But yeah, it is. You said the word that resonates. It's satisfying. It satisfies my soul. You know, so it's my purpose, and so I do this for not the. You know, I'm kind of like you. Yeah, I would love to make a little money. You know, but that's not why I started it.
Right.
You know, I know what my purpose is, and things happen the way things are supposed to happen, in the manner that whatever that larger thing is.
Yeah.
You know, whatever that is, that spirit is, says, and it feels right. you know,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's almost, Margaret, I don't know whether with you, sometimes almost scary sometimes when
Yeah.
things, you're
Yeah.
like,
'Cause
oh,
you're like, this is unreal. Like, no, this is unreal. Absolutely.
yeah, stuff just be popping up going, what?
Yeah.
And it has to be because you're walking in your purpose.
Yeah.
And when you walk in your purpose, you just, and it feels good and you know it and you just keep doing that. So yeah, I hear that and I feel that. I can tell your energy. I mean, I never obviously met you in person, but
Right.
just, you know, your spirit comes across, that this is what you're supposed to do. So I mean, I'm looking forward to helping, you know,
Yeah.
in my little, you know, what little part of the elephant that I'm supposed to be working on. So I'm more than willing to try to help you out as well. I just, how old is there an age limit?
Just 18 and over.
Okay.
Because when they're not adults, it's a whole different kind of licensing and training and all that stuff.
Okay.
It's different. And then we want moms, because too, like when you're young, you don't know. And and yeah, I won't go down that rabbit hole. But yeah, 18 and over is a preference. And then too, for the conversations, even though like you're a parent, like if you're 16, there's certain conversations that I wouldn't feel comfortable having. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
as an adult, like we can have those real conversations. Because I'm a mom too. So like if a 16-year-old a baby, she probably would get over on me because I'm like, look, I gotta help the baby.
Right.
So,
Right.
but no, just 18 and over. I did want to say a thing. We both talked about we would do it if we didn't have money. We want money. We need to
Right.
people who are listening and watching. We're not saying don't help us.
Yeah, we're not saying that, right? Not for you. You're a nonprofit. He's like, yeah, donations are accepted.
Donate to me, book BJ, like whatever, whatever. We still gotta eat out here.
Yeah,
but, But yeah, it's a hard work for sure.
Yeah. Let me ask you something, just the kind of things that I've been thinking about as far as the work that you do, but also education. When it comes to, I feel like things that are happening in our communities and countries and stuff like that, the country rather, is education.
Mhm.
And having parents be
Right.
involved. And I think it's, when it comes to being single parents, that's kind of hard to get to the school, to go to PTA meetings. So how do you manage that? Because for me, that is so key. Because if I can make sure my child is educated and staying in school, then I'm one of those advocates. Stay in school, get educated, pour money into education, pay teachers the money they supposed to be
For
paid,
sure.
because the president can't be president unless somebody taught his ass how to spell president. So,
That's right. That's right.
so all of that. And just how do we help parents who, want to be there for their kids? I mean, what do you do with that part, the educational piece? A single parent that wants to be there, but look, I can't come to PTA meetings. I can't come to teacher parent stuff. How do you help with that? Because that's so key. And the last thing I would say about that, for me, if people are educated, crime's going to go down.
Mm-hmm.
I just believe that, because
Right.
now you've educated me. I can be an entrepreneur, or if I'm doing really well, I might get a scholarship, or I know how, I know what I need to do for the next step, because at least I did my 12 and I got that foundation. Not saying that some of those 12 all that good, but at least you got it. What I'm saying? You didn't get caught up in the system. So how do you help parents navigate that education piece to be supportive to their children?
I think I am like, I'm very honest, and I'm also transparent. We make time for the things that are important to us. I'm not saying there are not jobs where they are unreasonable about you taking time off or whatever, but I've worked at a lot of jobs in my life, right? And if I say I have something at my kid's school, it's not been an issue. Again, I know that that's not everybody's story, but sometimes too, we don't tell them in enough notice. We tell them, oh, today,
right, right.
I got a meeting at my kid's school today, but you knew 2 weeks ago. Had you told your boss 2 weeks ago, they may not seem as inflexible because they could do what they need to do
Right.
to,
Right. That's
you
very
know what I'm saying?
valid. Yeah.
Like
Yeah. I
a
didn't
lot
think
of
about it
times,
like that. Yeah.
a lot of times we don't make the proper preparations. So now, again, I've had some unreasonable bosses. I've seen some unreasonable experiences, but a lot of times it's because we don't do our work and letting them know in advance. You know, a parent teacher conference isn't an emergency. Usually it's scheduled out. You know, when they get their
Right.
report card, you know that they have
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
PTA is
Wow.
scheduled. I just find a lot of
Yeah.
times that we haven't done our best, our due diligence, and so then it makes it look like everybody's on against us. But you can't call me and ask me for a ride to the store today when you knew you needed to go yesterday or the day before. You don't know what I have to do. You get what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
just, it's kind of like, especially when you have a need, you have to be mindful of you have to be considerate of the people you need to help you, be it your boss, be it
Wow.
your friend you need
Yeah.
to take you to the store. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
I have my
Wow.
youngest daughter just got her license, so she doesn't have a car yet. I go out of town, honey. I gets around. I be traveling, moving. I send it in a group chat. Who gonna pick up Kamaya from school when I go to such and such in 3 weeks? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's easier to help me when you know in advance that I have a need. Everything is not an emergency, and I think sometimes we feel like if I act like it is, then they'll respond like it is. But
Right.
there's no way you can convince me you didn't know about this conference. I don't believe that.
Wow. Wow. That's real right there. I mean, that's just so. Because I wasn't even thinking that, because I was just thinking, damn. I wasn't even thinking. I mean, I wasn't. All I was
Yeah,
thinking, they need to go to this and can't go, or because they got to
yeah,
work. But you're like, that. Yeah, you're right. PTA meetings are
right,
scheduled already throughout the year for the most part.
exactly,
Oh
exactly.
yeah. Wow. Yeah. I mean, clearly you and your purpose, because I ain't even think about it like that. It's
But
like,
you also don't have children, so that's fair.
yeah,
It's fair
yeah,
that
yeah,
you wouldn't have thought of that.
yeah,
I've
but
had
that
to
makes
go to
perfect
meetings. I
sense.
have 3 kids. I have to go to meetings. I've been to meetings at schools and things like that. And
Yeah.
it's just a lot of times people are more willing to work with us when they are able. A lot of people want to help, but sometimes the timing is not right because we didn't ask them enough time, or they can't do what we need that day. But I have a hard time when people are like, nobody wants to help me. Because then I want to know why.
Oh,
Why? Why does no one, out of all the 500 people nobody wants to help you? Why? You get what I'm
wow.
saying?
Hmm.
And some people don't like those conversations.
Right.
But if you're
Right.
coming by me, we're gonna have them.
Right. And you know what? That is, yeah, because that makes, I love that, because that's a part of what I'm trying to do with my work. I'm kind of, the narrative is shifting a little bit for me,
Mhm,
because I feel like, I've talked to some of the sticky rest on us as Black folks.
mhm.
And the conversation is going to be uncomfortable,
Right.
because, there's this, right now it's like, stop resisting.
Mm,
Right,
mm,
because I think, I don't know whether we talked about it, but there's the narrative, well, all these white men, mass shooters, are going to
mhm,
jail, right? Ain't nobody killing them, they're going to jail. Yeah, but do you understand that the guy that went in and shot 12 and killed 12 people, when the popo got behind him, he stopped, pulled over, got out of the car, and did everything the officer told him to do.
mhm, mhm.
You, on the other hand, run a stop sign and running, and you're dead.
A high speed chase for a stop sign.
And then you're dead. So I can't do nothing with that. So y'all got to stop resisting. So the thing, but what the pushback I know I'm going to get, and because I already get some, well, they're just going to kill me anyway. Well, I tell you what, boo, how about put your hands way up in the air to make it difficult for them to say, I feared for my life. I mean, if you're going to take one, you know what I'm saying? So
Well,
don't
people
give
don't
me that.
believe in, also sometimes what we put things out, right? Not saying that anybody wakes up and says, I want the police to kill me today. And
Right.
that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it goes back to what we were speaking about earlier. What's my attitude like? What's my demeanor like when I have whatever encounter it is? You know what I mean? If I think
Yeah.
everybody in this space that I'm going to be in is going to be a jerk, I come in there like everybody's going to be a jerk. Guess what everybody's going to be?
A jerk.
Because they're feeding off of me.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
already said a thing was going to be. And so then I in turn act like a thing is going to be. And then the thing is, and I'm like, I knew it. Well, yeah, because we could go there.
Yeah, and I think I appreciate the fact that we just got to be honest, and if people receive it, they receive it. But I just can't continue. I'm not that I don't ever sugarcoat, But we got to have that difficult conversation because I'm trying to save your life. So you can't compare this mass shooter when he gets out, gets on his knees, does everything the popo says, and you running for a stop sign. And you know, the other thing, Margaret, the data already, I'm looking at the data now. I'm doing it because I want to be able to say, I got the data, right?
Right. You got to have the data.
But what the data is already showing me, the individuals that are dying are not even dying for serious felonies. They haven't killed anybody. I think I've run across one or two after all the shootings I've looked at. Nobody is dying for have killed anybody. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, you're not. I would expect the person that just killed 12 people to run until they can't run no more. That's the expectation I would have.
Yeah.
But you're running for misdemeanors, tail lights out, you know, and dying for that. So anyway, yeah, so I appreciate the fact that the work that you do is you're holding people to be accountable.
Yeah.
And that's, I think that's, I don't know, I don't have children, but I know that things in the world have changed, and it is the unwillingness to own whatever it is they're doing, you know, to just be responsible and be held accountable.
Yep.
And that's all. No, you made a mistake, own it, keep it moving. Yeah. Nothing to die for, and nothing to be ashamed of. It's just how it is.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So tell me a success story before we kind of start winding down. Tell me a success story of a person who has been or is or has been through your or been a participant that you want to brag about.
I'm going to tell you about my best friend. And she is like, you're going to talk about me, aren't you? Yes, I'm always going to talk about you. And it's kind of before the organization was formed, right? I want to say it was 2016. And we were on the phone talking one day, and I'm not a person that asks people like, did you graduate? Where did you go to college? I don't care about that. So we were talking about something, and she wanted to leave the job the job she currently had. She was like, but I don't have my diploma. And she kept talking. I was like, wait, what? She was like, yeah, girl, because you remember I told you, whatever. Long story short, she didn't have her diploma. I was like, I'm gonna call you right back. Okay. I called, and I made her an appointment to go take her GED. And she did. I think she didn't do well in like one of the portions. So she had to like go to a couple classes or whatever. And then when she took it, she passed. And then not only that, she didn't, because I'm 42, she's a year older than me. So she was like 38 or upper 30s at this point. And she couldn't even believe that she did that. But then she went on to get her pharmacy technician certificate.
Woo!
Yes. What? So she always says she was keeping the sisters before she was keeping the sisters. And of course she's still in the organization. And so she's not even doing pharmacy tech right now, but she was like, I thought I wanted to do it. And I showed myself that I could, right? Because being almost 40 and not having your diploma, it's not the end of the world, but you kind of like, I've been working and surviving this long, I don't really gotta have it. Right. When you get it and you feel inspired to do more. And even if you're not currently doing that job, you prove to yourself that you could do a thing you didn't know you could do. Wow. So that's the one. That's my favorite one. Probably because she's one of my favorite people, but that's probably my favorite. That's my favorite one.
Wow. That's awesome. So since we're kind of getting to the end, tell me what it is you want people to know about the organization, or if there's something you want to share about yourself as to, your why. I think you've kind of talked about your why a little bit, but just kind of what you want to leave us with and let folks know about your organization.
Well, first I want to say we need money, but then you were like, tell us about your why.
Well, you can do both. Yeah.
No, it's my why, just because I know the road they travel. Sometimes, somebody will be, one of the moms, especially a younger one, will be telling me and stuff, and I have to keep my composure because, let me tell you, because I already know where you're gonna go. Like, let me help you before you even go there, because I already know where this road leads. Mm-hmm. My why is simple, really. If I can help one single mom be a better person, right? And then she's a better mom. And like we talked about, the ripples making waves. That is job well done for me. If I can change the way that you view the world, to change the way that you view yourself, and not me personally, but provide you with the space and with the access to the resources, tangible and intangible, to help you realize that all I've seen is not all there is.
Wow.
Then then that's my why. Providing a
Mhm.
safe space, even if no one enters it, right? But it's there and you can have it because I know how necessary it is for you.
Wow.
You writing it down.
Yeah, because look, because sometimes doing when I do these things, I always sometimes during the conversation, I find the title of the podcast, and I think
Oh,
you
okay.
just I
Okay.
think I think you just gave us the title. All I've seen, all you've seen is not all there is. Is that what you said?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. All you've seen is not all there is. So yeah, I think that might be end up being the title. So yeah,
Yep.
so I've enjoyed this conversation. I'm looking forward
Same.
to doing what if I can be of service to the organization as well, because that just, that helps me in your space, and who knows
Yeah.
what the universe might have. So yeah, I'm definitely, we'll talk about that, but yeah, I definitely want to do that. So thank you again for what you do.
Thank you for having me.
I think for me, it's nice to know that you're willing to have those difficult conversations that
Yeah.
make people uncomfortable. That just no, boo. This is the way we got to do this.
Gotta have them. You gotta have them.
Yeah. You got to show up. And I think that's what folks need to have. I mean, it's uncomfortable for some, but it's necessary
Sure.
for us to be successful as Black women, especially now for
Yeah.
everything. So thank you again, Margaret. So this is I Am My Sister's Keepers
Yes.
in Memphis, Tennessee. Please, go ahead and give them your website at stuff like that so they can visit. We'll post it up with the podcast, but go ahead and give it to them.
Our website is IamMySissysKeeper.org, and that's Sissy, SISSYS. We have Facebook, which is I Am My Sister's Keeper. We have Instagram, which is like our website, I Am My Sissy's Keeper. We have a really good social media person who is your cousin's wife. So she keeps our stuff going. It's been really beneficial for real.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So yeah, we post, we keep our stuff cute. You can go on our website and sign up for our email list. We only do one a week, promise, on Wednesday. I hate, when you sign up for somewhere and before you press send, you already got 3 emails. I don't like that.
Yep.
We do one a week on Wednesday.
Yep, girl, I know.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, but yeah, see what we're doing. See how you can support. We do need donations, but that's not the only way that you can help. So see what we have going on. Stay in touch with us. And then when you see me and BJ together again, you're like, oh, I remember them. They did that thing together.
They did that thing together. That's right.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, real quick, I want to give a shout out to my cousin Lillian Drew for tuning me into the organization, and my cousin Nathaniel too. So shout out to them. So thanks again, Margaret, for hanging out with us, and thanks for those of you that tune in or who are regular. For those of you that may have joined us for the first time, thank you for joining us for the first time. Hope you enjoyed the conversation, and as always, stay safe, stay well, and peace.